Hi guys, I'm recording actually my third video for the day again. Not because it didn't record today, but because it was a perfect lesson for what I want to talk about today, which is values and why it's so important to be rooted in your values and to stay grounded, especially when you've got a message you really want to put out there in the world like I do right now. And so I recorded 2 videos this morning about what I'm turning my business into. And I definitely left my circle of control and started rambling on about all this other crap that really has nothing to do with what I want to talk about. So I went downstairs and I started to answer those questions. The other day I posted on Instagram a list of questions that I felt like asking myself. And one of those questions was, how do I remain rooted in my values to keep me grounded in this business venture? In all my entire life as well, but right now I'm really focusing on the business aspect. And so the 3 core values that I've identified over the last couple of months is integrity, authenticity, and service is a new one. Thank you, COVID-19. Where do I want to start? So I think I've always had these values in some capacity, but I used to believe that you didn't really need to act from your values because they were already intrinsically a part of like who you are. And so this is the first time I've really been intentional in writing down how I'm going to operate through my values. And the first 2 videos that I made this morning, I veered off that path because I hadn't written it down and I hadn't been intentional and actually written out how I plan to stay grounded and rooted in my value system. So integrity is my first one, which to me I always think of doing the right thing when no one's watching, and also being able to stand alone, you know, stand up for what you believe in even if you're standing alone. And I'm going to reveal by the end of this video what I'm doing. And it's very important to me that I stand in my integrity for this, because if I'm not doing that, if I'm not standing strong in what I believe in, if I'm compromising, compromising is sometimes good, but it's not good to compromise your values. That leads me down, that personally now I know leads me down this path of totally being in other people's business. And I tend to judge people, and that isn't my goal at all. And so I'm watching this video of myself and I'm kind of being really judgmental and really coming off like I'm attacking other people. And I was like, whoa, like how did I get to that point, right? Like that's, what? How did those words come out of my mouth? So really rooting in my integrity and being so intentional about keeping that at the forefront of my mind. And even when I'm sitting down to write out actual like business plans or lessons or whatever, always reminding myself of that and making sure that I'm standing in my integrity at all times. Authenticity is my second value. It just really comes back to like, I'm not doing anything else but being like the full expression of me in this work. And it's so important to show up as myself authentically, because when I try to be somebody else, or I try to people please, or I try to change someone else, or you know, I try to tell people what they want to hear, which is just in the work that I'm going to be doing will lead me to cause a lot of damage. And I just have to be upfront with myself about that, that if I'm not being authentic in my message, and I'm kind of dancing around it, or again, if I'm compromising on this value, I'm going to do so much more harm than good. What all my coaches say is hurt people hurt people. And that could not be more true in this instance of, if I'm not being authentically myself and I'm trying to be something I'm not, it's not going to work, plain and simple. And so, my third is service. So my ultimate goal in obviously being a doula is to serve and support. Like that's all I do. That's my entire purpose. And so rooting in service for me means, where are my motivations coming from? Am I really doing this to help somebody else? Or am I doing this because I have some type of hidden agenda woven in there? And it's about questioning my motivations for me. And so once I went to those values, and I answered some of the other questions, I still have a few left for the day. But once I was writing about those values, everything that was wrong with the previous videos I recorded just kind of started coming to me. And so what I want to announce is I'm a free birth doula. And once this hit me, so many dots I can't even tell you. We're just like boom, 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 connecting over like my whole life and everything that's led me to this point. And, you know, I'm a little bit worried about the judgment that's going to come along with that. And that's why I say it's not an accident that the module I'm in for the Global Sisterhood is fuck what others think, because that's right where I'm at. And that module is all about staying in your circle of control and staying in your business and standing in your integrity with confidence and conviction, knowing that like you're on your path. And even if other people don't understand it right now, or they judge it, or they're scared of it, or whatever, like I just have to stand on my rock. Like that's my job, is to be a lighthouse and stand on my rock. And so that's what I'm gonna do. And I can't do that if I don't stay rooted in my value system. And to me, like the integrity, the authenticity, and the service fit so well into supporting free birth. For anyone who doesn't know what free birth is, it's typically a home or sometimes a nature birth without any medical professionals there. I do want to set a really quick boundary that I will not be answering any comments or questions about the technical definition of a free birth. In every circle I've ever been in that discusses free birth, there's this annoying question that people ask: is it technically a free birth if a doula is in attendance? I'm not even interested in going there, because I know what I'm here for, and I'm here to support people. And doulas are not medical professionals, like in any way, shape, or form, so we don't do anything medical at all. It's all emotional and spiritual support. Think of it like your best friend. So that's just, I just need to put that out there, because I really just don't want to distract. Again, I don't want to distract from my core message. So yeah, it just kind of led me down this like beautiful path of realizing that like everything I'm made of has come to this point. But free birth is a really heavy point of contention in the doula community, because a lot of people think it's irresponsible and there's a lot of medical liability. And it's that's a confusing thing for me. Most doulas, the vast majority of doulas, will not attend free birth. And so there's obviously a need. And I don't feel that fear. I really don't. I really don't feel that. I believe that if I stay rooted in my values, that will keep me on path. And my intuition has never led me to a place that I didn't want to be. It's actually usually blown my mind. So, so that's where I'm going to stay. And I think that these values will only help other people. And learning to do these, to recenter myself and reground myself in this way has allowed me to step out of my comfort zone. It's allowed me to do things that I never thought I would be able to do. I think, honestly, one of the reasons why my previous doula plan was to be a preconception and pregnancy doula, I think one of the reasons why I didn't go to birth is because of some fears that I had. And some of those fears I've taken care of. Like I was afraid that Lyric wouldn't handle being without me for a night. Well, he's in his own room and basically weaned, so not an issue there. And I was really left standing here holding really my last fear, which was that I would cause damage, which is that I am not strong enough or I'm not good enough to do that type of work. And so my values, diving into my values, which I feel like I've really only scratched the surface on what that means and like how that can proliferate throughout my life. But coming back to my values, especially today, has really allowed me to like overturn those beliefs. There's another coach I got to give a shout out to. Her name is Beck Cameron, and I'll link her stuff below. But she gave me this really beautiful exercise to take all of my insecurities and my worst fears and write them down, and then write the opposite as affirmations. And so those affirmations, coupled with these values that I've identified and this kind of like stick to values plan that I've now made, has allowed me to turn those fears into like my greatest strengths, which is so cool. Because I've realized that I have so many life experiences behind me, supporting me in this decision and in my abilities to do so. And I think I'm uniquely positioned in order to fill this niche for people. There's so many people during COVID-19 right now that are switching directly from hospital birth to a free birth at home. And I can't think of something that's more polarized, more polar opposite than those things. It's a completely different mindset. There's completely different methods involved. And coming back to my values has also told me that the doula that I thought I would be before was focused on all the wrong things. I was focused on being right, and I was focused on changing other people instead of coming home to myself and really rooting in what am I here for, what are my goals and what are my motivations, and has pulled me out of the discussions that you'll see a lot in birth spaces, which is like this battle between hospital, home birth, natural, medicated, managed, all of these conversations that in and of themselves miss the point, which is the person behind all of that. And that's what I'm so interested in supporting and serving. That's where that service comes in, is I don't really ultimately care how you choose to birth. What I care more about is that my clients feel like they could birth unassisted, regardless of what they actually choose to do. And I'm not here to define what unassisted and free birth means. That's up to the parents. But what I'm here to do is support the human being and their experience behind all of that other, those other details. Because if that person is standing in their values and they feel supported in the way that I do, they're going to make the right choices for themselves. They're going to learn to navigate that. They're going to learn to feel what intuition feels like and sounds like, and when they're off course, what that sounds like and feels like. And my ultimate goal as a doula is to not even be needed at the birth. That would really be the highest compliment for me, is to say like, hey, I feel prepared for this. I actually don't feel like I need you. I would be like, woo, mission accomplished. I care so deeply about that, and I've made my tagline, so I call myself the undoula because I feel like I'm completely undoing doula work. And with my clients, we're going to be undoing fears, old beliefs, bad habits, insecurities. We're going to be undoing and unraveling all of that. As a dynamo doula, that's what I'm trained to do. And I really chose this organization with so much intention because I loved that aspect of just kind of, I picture just like taking the wrapping off to getting to that amazing stuff inside. That's what I'm so interested in getting at, because that's what my teachers have done for me. I was lost for such a long time, and now I can pull on and draw on all of those bad experiences that happened to me, or those challenges, and I can just totally alchemize that into my gifts. And I can see people in a way that no one else really can, because I'm the only one with my experiences. So, yeah, I think, my tagline for the business is give birth back to the people. Because I do feel like it's been stolen from us. And the entire milestone, beautiful moment has just been taken from us. And so I want to show people how to get back to that. So for right now during COVID-19, I'm really wanting to reserve my services for people who are switching their plans last minute from hospital to home birth or to unassisted birth. That's really where I want to stick. And if at all possible, I'd like to stick with free birth and unassisted birth, which means people who feel like they want to birth without a midwife, or they can't find a midwife, is another kind of crisis that's happening right now, is that people in my community either can't find a midwife, or they are just going whole hog into birthing unassisted. It's a very big choice, and if you were planning on a hospital birth and you're switching to that environment, everything about it's going to be different. You know, I want to be really realistic about that the mindset, the entire modality of care is drastically different than doing a home birth with a midwife or doing unassisted or a free birth. So I want to help you get the resources you need. I want to help you make a plan. I want to help you discuss your fears and your anxieties. And, you know, if you've had previous birth trauma, I can relate to that. I've had medical trauma. Yeah, and I have my website up now too. So I'm actually going to go back to my website today. It's www.theundoula.com. You can go there. You can read about me. You can connect to my Instagram, which is at Tarryn, TARRYN, .theundoula. I have so much information there if you want to get to know me better. So that's my big announcement. I'm a free birth doula. Who knew? I'm super excited to start taking clients really soon. I'm going to do some more values work, some more intention, make sure that I'm super solid in my platform before I take on any clients, but I'm really close to that. I can really feel that I'm just, you know, maybe even just a few days from really launching that. So yeah, just thank you for your support. Thank you for listening to me. I'm loving this YouTube thing, so I'm going to keep coming back to it. Yeah, I feel so grateful for my circle of support right now, and I just want to take all of that love and all of that energy and just like pass it on to people in my community. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow.